This is India Tonight. Even as that debate rages on about whether IIT students are facing difficulties in securing jobs on campus, 81% of undergraduate students at IIT Delhi have been hired by firms so far this year, is what the data is indicating. Let's find out more. Anurag, my colleague, back with us to tell us about where things stand. At least this data that we're gaining from IIT Delhi, Anurag, what does it suggest?
It claims that students at various IITs are facing difficulties in securing jobs on the campus this year. Data from IIT Delhi reveals that over 80% of the students there, the undergraduate students at IIT Delhi, have been placed with recruiters. Now, the data does show that the BTech and the dual degree students at IIT Delhi, the pace of the recruitment so far is a tad slower than the previous 3 years, though the placements still have time to catch up since the academic year ends in June. Now, the BTech and dual degree students that were placed last year were over 90%, and this year, if we see, 729 students have been placed out of 903 students that had availed of the Office of Career Services.
Anurag, thanks very much for that. Let's get perspective on where the employment situation for graduates from premier institutions stand. And for that, Ramani Dathi is the Chief Financial Officer at Teamlease Services. She's joining us here on the edition of India Tonight. Great to have you with us, Ramani. Tell us, as far as trends go, there are media reports that suggest that there are difficulties as far as these institutions are concerned in trying to attract more recruits. The older IITs, like the ones in Delhi and Bombay and Mumbai, are facing these challenges in placing students. Where does the truth lie?
Yeah, well, this is not a surprise for those who are following the IT hirings in the last 1 year, because consistently over the last 5-6 quarters, there has been a sluggishness in the overall trend in IT hiring. This is mainly because of the global drop in tech spending, and till the time we see an actual pickup there, it's very unlikely that the overall hiring trends in IT can pick. So it's not specific to only IITs or IIMs, the premier institutes, across the spectrum. So we are seeing a drop in IT hiring. But we don't see this as a trend going forward. This is only an exception because of the uncertain times that we are going through, especially at the global level. However, we believe that once the pickup happens, so there'll definitely be surge in the hiring for the overall IT talent, because of the same reason that I mentioned, because for last 5-6 quarters, there have been no major hirings across Indian IT services or GCC. And we expect that maybe within few quarters from now, there will be a good pickup in overall trend.
But Ramani, the brand, IIT brand holds a lot of value, and certain media reports were suggesting that the fresh graduates are holding out for higher. They don't want to settle for smaller companies offering them 5 to 6 lakh packages. They would hold out because they know these premier institutions, graduates, they command much more. Is that the truth as well?
To some extent, yes, because definitely during the COVID period and the couple of years following COVID, there has been a surge in the IT salaries as well as the overall IT. Companies have gone ahead and hired a lot of talent at a premium salary, even at the entry level. And that kind of set expectations maybe for some of the students who are graduating now. But they also have to take into consideration that during those 2 years, there was an unusual inflation in the IT salaries, but that may not be the trend into future. Otherwise, if we consistently apply an inflation of, say, 6-7% over the last 5-year period, so we still see the numbers to be in track with that trend.
Ramani, when we talk about how the Indian growth story is something that you can't second guess, at this point in time, it's serving as a beacon. You look at global uncertainties, yes, but when you talk about domestic demand for some of our fresh graduates, especially from the premier institutions, is that commensurate with the trends that you've seen in recent times? Because if we are talking about this kind of growth, the IMF projecting 6.8% kind of growth, are we generating jobs that are in sync with the kind of growth projections we're making?
Definitely, yes. because as I said, except for IT, which is right now led by the global drop in tech spending, in all other segments, we are seeing good pickup in the hiring numbers. Even going by our trend line, the overall hiring percentage has gone up. The number of placements that we do on a monthly basis in non-IT sectors, be it manufacturing, pharma, EV, consumer, banking and financial services, and all the new age companies, that has very positive for the last few years, and it looks like the trend will continue into future as well. Right now, we are seeing the sluggishness only in IT and startup ecosystem because, again, till few years back, startups used to be one of the top players in terms of hiring the top talent, be it from the premium institutes or at niche skill set tech professionals. The hiring also have come down because of the funding season right now not being so positive.
That funding winter startups, that definitely has a bearing. And you said the slowdown as far as hirings go, it is largely seen in the IT sector. But is this largely to do with tech startups? Or do you think overall we are seeing that kind of slowdown when you look at startups and the way they've hired in the past compared to what they're likely to do even now in this placement?
Yeah. No, this trend is mainly in the tech startup. When I say tech, it can be all sorts of tech, the fintech, edtech companies. So everywhere we are seeing the funding winter, and that has impacted the hirings. And even in the non-tech space, many of the startups are now focusing on their bottom line, optimizing their current talent resources instead of spending more on expansion plans. So that seems to be the priority right now. However, clearly the tech startups have impacted the hiring at niche skill set level and the premium institute hirings.
So going ahead from here, where you talk about the packages that will be offered to some of these premier institutions and their graduates, what are trends suggesting? Are we looking at a trend line that is moving up, or is there a lateral kind of move as well? Is there some kind of plateauing that is happening right now?
No, it's too early to comment on what it's going to be because
Sure.
It's quite uncertain right now. And going by last 5-6 quarters, the trends in, especially in IT, are quite surprising because consistently the Indian IT services, they have been buying good mandates, but again, the indication in terms of the kickoff of the projects is getting delayed. So whether it's going to happen in next 1 quarter, 2 quarter, we are not sure. But some of the indications are that by mid of this year, the coming financial year, there'll be an overall pickup in the momentum because many IT companies have already reached the peak of their employee utilization. At some point in time, they have to start the hiring. As of now, the GCCs, to some extent, are absorbing the top talent, especially at lateral, not at the entry-level hiring. At lateral level, they are kind of absorbing the top talent. But the Indian IT services, which are the volume hirers, so there we need the pickup.
Well, when you're talking about economic growth, for employment to fall in line with the kind of growth projections that are being made, that's par for the course, and it's going to be an important plank in the election we're heading into. We'll keep tracking that space, but Ramani, thank you very much for your perspective on the subject on this edition of India. Great to have you with us.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.